You are now entering Nyghtstorm Nation.
All I have to say is this.
Child abuse.
If you are one of those people
Divorce.
that have been put down all of your life,
Infidelity.
beat up and trapped in a pit of woe,
Depression.
it is time for you to stand up with the Nyghtstorm Nation, because we aren't going anywhere.
I'm YG Nyghtstorm, the man not afraid to be transparent, as I help real people with real issues. And my co-host is my queen. Get ready, y'all, my stunningly gorgeous wife. Woo!
This is Toby George Nyghtstorm, the woman not afraid to tell the truth as to how things really are. And you have entered Nyghtstorm Nation. This is Nyghtstorm Radio, radio gone real because we are you.
Now, if you're in the ATL Nyghtstorm Nation, if you want to call in at 443-558-8699. And to all the Nyghtstorm Nation members around the country, you can call in at 1-866-923-2860. And you can also find out more about us, the Nyghtstorms, at Nyghtstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com. And you can also listen to our show from the Talk Radio page on our website and also on Love860.com.
That's right. And all you smartphone owners out there, don't forget, if you know how to download these apps, I'm sorry, for Twitter and Facebook and everything else under the sun, Instagram, then you might want to download iHeartRadio, Tunein Radio, iRadionow. Go in the talk show section, find Love 860, and find us so we can be with you everywhere you go.
Anywhere in the world, ain't that right,
on Thursday
baby?
Mornings at 11 o'clock, though.
Yeah, you want to know something, baby?
What?
You fine.
Oh, Lord.
I keep looking at you, and I just can't help myself. I just had to say it. Anyway, that's why I be stuttering when I say stunning. So what's on tap for the day, baby?
Alrighty then.
See, I done messed her up
I know,
now,
right?
Nyghtstorm Nation.
My mind is like, Any rate, today we're going to inspire and motivate. We're going to teach. We're going to help people conquer some adversity that they're facing, handling some issues that are hard to deal with, emotional and physical pain that unfortunately is a part of life that we have to deal with, whether we want to or not. We all have to go through the ups and downs of life. And today we're going to tap into some of that.
Yeah, we're going to get really, 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 really deep on this one. And I mean, we always get deep on Nyghtstorm Radio because we talk about real issues that affect them real people. But like right now, we have a current event that's going on. And unfortunately, this happened yesterday. And I want to say this, because normally we have the Nyghtstorm letter here where people can, the Nyghtstorm Nation can write into us and at the Nyghtstorms at Nyghtstorm.com and say about their comments and what they would like for us to talk about, and they write us letters. But today we're going to kind of take a detour here because this is a story that deserves our attention. And Nyghtstorm Nation, I want to say this. Now, just yesterday, on Wednesday afternoon, a popular Dutchtown high school sophomore and cheerleader, 16-year-old Jasmine Poole, unfortunately lost her life in a car accident on Pates Creek Road shortly after school yesterday. Now, witnesses say that they saw 8 cars racing on Pates Creek Road, and the one that Jasmine was in, it swerved and the driver lost control, tried to overcorrect the car, but lost control of the vehicle. And 2 other students were in the car and they were rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital, but unfortunately, Jasmine, lost her life on the scene. And her friends and family are just distraught and crushed because she had just celebrated her 16th birthday. And sweetheart, they just attended the prom.
Yes, Jasmine is a beautiful young lady, and now was always a beautiful spirit. But, I saw a picture, and it, of course, with the loss of our son, it always touches a parent to hear when a child is lost.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to send our condolences out to Jasmine's family, her friends, her co-cheerleaders, everyone that knew and loved her teachers, because like we say, we are you. This is a pain that no one should ever have to feel, the loss of a child.
Yeah.
You never think that you're going to bear them, especially someone so full of life. With Victor, he was 19, so full of life. One day he was here and the next day it's like, what's going on? Yeah. So we totally can feel what you're feeling. And we want to say that we are here with you at Love 860 AM on Nightstorm Radio, and all of Nightstorm Nation is thinking about you, and our prayers are with you.
Yes, because the Queen said it correctly, because when we lost our son in 2008, it just as a man who we feel that we can conquer the world at times, and we feel that we're strong enough to be able to handle any particular situation. But when you are faced with the unfortunate passing of your child, I know in my case, I felt powerless. And it doesn't matter how much money you got, how much weight you can pick up, or how strong or powerful you think you are as an individual, as far as your social status or whatever. When you lose a child, you feel helpless because there's absolutely nothing that you could do about it. You can't change it, and you can't reverse the situation. And we went through a very, very difficult time, and especially trying to keep, his 6 other siblings up and together after the tragedy.
There's no preparing for it. It's one thing when you have someone that's ill.
Yeah.
You have time within yourself to prepare yourself, prepare your family. Everyone know that it's coming.
Yeah.
Whether it's from a terminal illness or old age or whatever, you have time to prepare. But when you have it just taken suddenly, it's just it takes a lot to try to get yourself together. I know that entire year after Victor passed, I was not working. Yeah. I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to hear about, he's in a better place, this, whatever, So we're going to be talking about grief today and the process of grieving and things that can be done to help you get through this process. So we have a very special guest.
Yeah, we do.
Going to be
we do.
Today.
And here at Nightstorm Radio, we uplift and empower. And even though this is an extremely difficult topic, and we have gone through this, and we have helped folks over the years deal with this, but it's always refreshing, ladies and gentlemen, when we can invite another expert on. And even though we are dealing with this ugly, ugly issue, she deserves to be introduced properly the Nightstorm way. Am I right, my queen?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay, so Jared, if you can cue that music, please, so we can introduce her properly. Come on. Yeah. Now, Nightstorm Nation, we play 5-star chick because this young lady is a 5-star chick. Take it away, my queen.
Our first guest. She's not only an anesthesiologist, but she's also a radio and television personality, host of Good Deeds radio and TV show.
Yeah.
Her mission is to encourage and empower others to enjoy life and obtain their dreams. This passionate motivator, author, publisher, and healthy coffee distributor inspires folks from all walks of life to stimulate their energy in the greater pursuit to fulfill their lifelong goals.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen of Nightstorm Nation and listeners around the world, it is our honor, privilege, and pleasure to welcome to Nightstorm Radio, Dr. Renee Sunday.
Yeah!
Hello, Dr. Sunday.
Hi, how you guys doing?
We're doing fine.
How you doing, lady with the same name as the Lord's Day?
Oh, wow, I like that. I'm great, thank you.
All right. Well, I want to welcome you to Nightstorm Radio, and Nightstorm Nation has their ears all open because as you probably heard in the opener, we were talking about the tragic loss of high school sophomore Miss Jasmine Poole. And after years of training and becoming an anesthesiologist and 13 years practicing, what motivated you to get into the entertainment business and start helping people with your TV and radio show?
Wow. Well, I'll be very transparent. That's just how I am. Actually, it wasn't by choice. I'll be totally honest with you. I lost my job in 2009, the first time. And, if you will, I had a ram in the bush, as I thought, or God put another job in my path, and I worked in Florida for about 3.5 years. But it happened again. One day in 2012, I actually went to work, and in one day, I went from 6 figures to 0 figures.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Dr. Sunday, come on now. I mean, you know you're going to have to let the Nightstorm Nation know how this happened. Come on, sister, bring it.
Well, actually, it wasn't by my choice, and I'll be honest, it wasn't that I wasn't doing the standard of care. Just with the way life happens in the economy, they actually have nurses that can do anesthesia as well. So really, they don't really need to have a physician there. If the CRNAs they call CRNAs certified registered nurses. And no offense, they train the same, very similar that we are, but we are actually physicians that do anesthesia, which we've taken 13 years to do it versus there is a shorter time. But anyway, they actually are less expensive than the anesthesiologists. So a lot of people are going to that practice of just having the nurses do the anesthesia. So, but this time I didn't, as I perceived, didn't have a ram in the bush. But God always have a ram in the bush.
Amen.
So I actually released a book about Sunday Grief MD while I was not working.
Uh-huh.
And, it's about going through the grieving process, pretty similar to what you're talking about earlier. And then someone just reached out to me on Facebook, Minister Lakeeba Wallace, that's here in Atlanta, and she said, have you ever thought about being in media? And I'm like, well, and so actually that's how I started my path in doing media. She gave me a great platform of being a co-host on her show, Living Day by Day. Mm-hmm. And then now, as you said, I have my own platform called Good Deeds.
Wow. Okay. All right. Now I heard you break some stuff down because life happened to you. Okay. And life happens to so many folks out here, especially out here in the Nyghtstorm Nation. So I want to ask you this because you talk about you had to go through this thing and it was not your own choice. So you went from 6 figures to 0 and you found your calling, your ram in the bush, as you say, and you began helping people. And you talk about your book, now, how do you honestly, when like with the particular situation we're dealing with now, with the example with the young lady losing her life, and we know about this very personally from losing our own son, and we have gone through the transitions and the processes. But when you were talking to your folks, ma'am, on your own medium and your own platform on helping people deal with things like this, what is the first step that someone can do in order to try to get through something like this, ma'am?
Well, yeah, it's and let's just say this up front, that everybody grieves differently. Mm-hmm. And we have to respect each other of how you grieve. So that's very important. And as you also alluded to, if it's traumatic, if it was, you had planned, if the people had cancer or something like that, it's a different. If it happens, if you saw them that morning, then boom, something happened versus you've been in the hospital with them, and still it makes a difference of the age. So all those factors come into play. I actually, this past weekend, my godson passed away, and he was 3 years old.
Our condolences.
So I was, and I really had a light bulb experience to realize that's why I went through the process of my brother passing away in 2011, because I was able to be strong for the mother. Because a lot of people, I just be real, they ask God, why, even a 3-year-old, why did this happen? And we don't know the answer all the time, but we know God has a great plan. His plan is best because you don't want anybody to suffer. But getting back to your question, the first thing I tell everybody, and I told my goddaughter that, let yourself grieve. You have to let yourself, because we are human. We have to say, okay, cry. We have to be, you mad. Some people feel guilty about, they should have done this, they should have done that. But you have to give yourself that time to grieve. I mean, and like we said, everybody grieves different. So it's okay to cry. It's okay to do these things, but you have to have that support team because you need to eat. You need to, keep yourself hydrated because you really don't want to do nothing. You want to lay down and just cry. I mean, But you have to keep yourself nourished. So the first thing I usually tell people, hey, it's okay to grieve. And then after you get through that process, then you can actually start going through the different other stages of grief.
I can definitely relate to that statement that you just said. In fact, YG looked at me and pointed when you said you don't want to eat. when our son passed away, it was the day before my birthday. And so coming into that next morning, because he passed away that during the night, and coming into the next morning was my birthday. And it's like, YG was like, he wouldn't want you to not be recognized in any way, but I didn't care. It was my birthday. I didn't care about anything. I just wanted to cry, and I just wanted to be left alone. I didn't have an appetite. So I can definitely understand and relate to those that are going through that. And, you have family, you got to eat something. You got to keep your strength up. But that's definitely something that's not on your mind. Now, I noticed that you also have a publishing company called Sunday Publishing. What is the mission of that?
Well, that was because really I developed a publishing company out of need because I really wanted my book to get out there, because it's a lot of books about grief, but what's different about this book, I actually talk from a medical standpoint of what your body goes through when you're going through the grieving process. And, I talk about my brother maybe in the first chapter, and we switch pretty quickly so we can motivate other people through the process.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you were sitting down, writing your book and getting your thoughts together, and you wanted to motivate them, just very quickly.
Well, I think we got a little technical difficulties. We're going to get Dr. Sunday back because she dropped. But I like what Dr. Sunday was saying, okay, because she was also talking about her brother, and I looked at her website. Her brother's name is, I believe, was Junior, and he was a phenomenal young man. And when she lost him, she's very transparent in her book about how she felt and what she wanted to do. Okay. And we understand stuff like that because, as you were saying, sweetheart, when we lost Victor, you didn't want to do anything. No. And I felt the pressure of, okay, Toby is distraught. The children are distraught. And I have to stand for the family. And I had to delay my grief because I had to make sure everybody was fine. But I didn't feel like doing nothing either. I didn't want to, but somebody had to. And when Dr. Sunday said everybody has to grieve differently, I understand that because sometimes even after the person passes away, someone still has to keep the ship afloat. And Jared has said that Dr. Sunday is back with us. Are you back with us, ma'am?
Yes, I do apologize. I'm like, Lord, I know. I really, from the media side, I'm like, oh, my God, what is happening?
That's okay. We got you back. But you was telling us about your brother, Junior.
Well, yeah. Pretty much, he actually died from a ruptured abdominal aneurysm, and what that is, briefly, is the major vessel in his body from high blood pressure, stress. It actually was a hole in it, and blood kind of went everywhere. But he actually went into surgery, and he didn't wake up. He actually woke up enough to squeeze my hand, and then he went on into heaven. But the thing that people have to realize is. It's a process, and I know you hate hearing people say that, but like we continue to say, which is important, you need support, and your grief will be different for somebody else.
Yes, ma'am. And right before you was connected back on, I was telling the Nyghtstorm Nation how, Toby and I had to grieve differently because as the mother, who has been raising 7 children, and this is her baby, the oldest of the 7, and when he passed away, she could not do anything, and the 6 siblings could not do anything. Me, I didn't want to do anything, but I had to because someone still had to keep the things going, and unfortunately sometimes bill collectors don't care, and you still have to do the things that's necessary to keep the ship afloat. But I did find my own way later to grieve, and I'm going to get into that a little bit after the break because we are coming up against a hard break. But ma'am, I want to tell you something that I honestly appreciate the fact of you coming on and being transparent and talking about the real stuff that folks go through. And it don't matter what walk of life they in, no matter how much money they got, whether they got 6 figures or 0, things happen, and we all deal with grief a little bit differently. But we're going to be back with Dr. Renee Sunday on the other end of the break. You are listening to Nyghtstorm Radio right here on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station.
You ever been so depressed to where you want to hurt yourself because life has been unkind, unfair, and unforgivable? Folks done hurt you and thrown you away. Yeah, I know, because I was there too, until I read this book by NYGHTSTORM called All Action No Talk. This dude has been there, man. He understands us. He was homeless, abused as a child, abandoned by his dad, and even his oldest son passed away. I'm encouraged because if this dude can make it, so can I, and so can you. So check it out at Nyghtstorm.com, NYGHTSTORM, and know that you have the strength to change your life despite adversity, like him, like me, like you.
Hey, you, guy or gal that's listening, are you enjoying the night storms? Good! If you want the 411 on me, YG Nightstorm,
and me, Toby George Nightstorm, aka Lady Nightstorm, visit Nyghtstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com. Check out our informative blogs, videos, and see what Nyghtstorm Nation is doing to benefit the community. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
Thanks again for listening to the Night Storms on Nyghtstorm Radio every Thursday at 11 a.m. to noon on Love 860 a.m. Atlanta's inspirational station. We are you.
Hi everyone, it's me, Lady Nightstorm, and have I got news for you. Want to know how to keep up with us and what we're doing in the community? It's easy. Just like us on Facebook at Nyghtstorm Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Nyghtstorm Radio and become part of the Nyghtstorm Nation mailing list at Nyghtstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM. Keep up with all our promotions, contests, and latest happenings. Nyghtstorm Radio. We are you.
You are now rocking with the Night Storms on Atlanta's inspirational station, Love 860 AM WAEC. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. We are back, and we are speaking to Dr. Renee Sunday. And if you would like to talk to Dr. Renee Sunday, if you have a question, if you want to be a part of this conversation, you need to pick up the phone and dial 404-355-8699 or 866-923-2860.
Yeah. Now, Dr. Sunday, I know we've been getting really, really deep, and I want to ask you this, okay? Are you ready, ma'am?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Now we understand because I know in your book and also in our book also we talk about the 5 stages of grief. We talk about 1, denial and isolation, what you and Toby was talking about. 2 is anger. 3 is bargaining, and I'm going to come right back to that one because I really want your perspective on this one. But 4 is depression, and 5 is finally acceptance. Now, most folks have the most trouble actually with number 3, the bargaining, because they feel that if they may have treated their loved one better or taken them to the hospital sooner, or maybe if they changed their action, that somehow they could have spared their loved ones' lives and prevented this tragedy. So the overwhelming feeling of guilt and unforgiveness upon themselves can haunt them for years. So, ma'am, in your opinion, when folks are dealing with number 3, the bargaining, like, I wish I could have did this, or I wish I could have been a better father, or I wish I could have been a better mother, or I wish I could have been a better brother, and maybe my loved one would still be here. How can people deal with their guilt and ultimately forgive themselves of the loss?
Wow, that is very powerful. Let me just tell you what, I actually went through that as well, because this being a medical doctor, the surgery my brother had is actually, if you ask anyone in the medical field, they'll say that's number 1 or number 2 of the most challenging surgeries to do the surgery and also the anesthesia. So I was talking to the doctor on the phone, trying to tell the doctor what to do. And when I went in the room, I was telling the nurses to do X, Y, Z. So I did have problems disconnecting. I really did. And then my mom said, wait a minute, you remember you're his sister now. You're not the doctor that's treating the patient. But it was very hard to disconnect from that. And then when he did pass away, I was fine initially. But then I said, well, dog, was my belief right? Did I not pray in faith?
Mm-hmm.
Did I not do? Should I told them to do something else? Should I looked up something else on the computer? Kind of pretty similar to what you're saying in a different fashion, but it was on a whole another level because I was in the medical field, so I knew exactly what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, my cousin, which is a minister, he said something so powerful that really kind of, I hate to say it, knocked me back in the world. Because you know, when all that's going on, you're kind of in a cloud, if you will. He said that my brother has done his mission here on earth. That's why it's time for him to go. And that was a soul of a light bulb experience. And if anybody really think about that, I think the guilt, the saying, oh, I didn't get a chance to say goodbye, that initial pain that you didn't do what you're supposed to have done, that kind of eases a little bit because, we don't want to be in the way of anybody's plan or anybody's mission, and you don't want anybody to suffer. That's the most important. That's our selfishness, unfortunately, that's coming out our human side because we'll miss them. Mm-hmm. But when he said that he has achieved his mission in life, I was like, well, wow. Because that means it's time for him to rest.
Mm-hmm. And it's, especially when you're talking about younger people, I think that's more easy to accept if you're speaking about someone older.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard when you start getting into that selfish part of us wanting them to be here. Like you said, your godson was 3. When Victor passed away, he was 19.
Yeah.
And, from our standpoint, we was like, what have they done? What has a 3-year-old done to have completed a mission? Or all Victor was able to accomplish was, graduating from high school and getting a job. And he had plans of more things he wanted to do. What mission had he possibly completed? But, it's all in God's plan and his timing and work. And that's something that we all have to, come to grips with. Excuse me. So, Dr. Sunday, I love your book and your message. Do you have any upcoming projects and events? And if so, how can our listeners find out more about you?
Oh, wow. Well, the different stages that I've been through, because grief can be, losing your home, losing your job, losing your car. So I actually, didn't understand all the grief that I've been going through the last 2 to 5 years. But I understand, and because I can tell people what to do. I've lost my job twice, and I have come back. Mm-hmm. God has reinvented me into the purpose He wanted me to be. And so actually, I'm a passion and purpose coach. And I actually help people walk through the process, and I give them a roadmap. The main 3 principles is we have to believe, we have to trust, and we got to walk it out, regardless of what the situation. I kind of walk people through that and give them resources and, of course, empower them that they actually can make it.
Wow. It kind of like what YG says, as long as I'm alive, I have a chance.
Yeah. So you got a website that people can find you at, ma'am?
Yes, I actually have 2 websites. One is SundayPublishingCompany.com, and I hate to say it's all one word, SundayPublishingCompany.com. Mm-hmm. And the Passion and Purpose site is Get Purpose Now, and it's a capital G, capital P, and capital N. And I actually have a free ebook on there if anyone want to download that.
Well, there you go.
All right. We love free. For
free. Well, something, Dr. Sunday, I want to say this to you, ma'am. I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Nyghtstorm Radio and for bringing your transparency and also for bringing your passion. Because I like what you said. You said you believe, trust, and walk it out. And you have brought such a passion that when people are listening to you, that you have such power in your voice and with your own story and your own testimony as someone who actually lived what they speak. Because so many motivational speakers, they don't know honestly what the hell they talking about because they've read it in a book and they don't know. They just seen stuff and want to talk about it. But when you get real folks, passionate folks who have gone through hell and back, who have gone through the things that people are suffering from the most and coming true with a passion that you have, you are a blessing. So we want to thank you, and we may God continue to bless you with your ministry. And for all the folks that are coming to you, they will be blessed. So thank God for you, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. I had a wonderful time.
All right,
yes,
man.
Ma'am. So
You have yourself a good day on Thursday, Dr. Sunday.
I knew you were going to.
Have a good one, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Now, Nyghtstorm Nation, we just had a good time talking to Dr. Renee Sunday, a very powerful young lady. And now, next up in our discussion, we're about to get real deep into the Nyghtstorm mythos, as we say. And we're going to be discussing about some real deep stuff from folks who I think they know what they talking about. Am I right, my queen?
Yes, sir. They've gone through the hardships of making poor choices. Mm-hmm. In their youth and as adults.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they've gained a wealth of knowledge. As they say, making mistakes make you wiser.
Right,
give you
right.
a few extra gray hairs. But
Yeah.
And they've turned misfortune into success, and they frequently share to the world through their books, videos, website, radio show, and speaking tours. So,
Yeah.
Jared, if you could please, sir, cue that music, and let's welcome our guest.
Oh, turn that up.
Are you ready to meet the Nyghtstorms?
Who that?
Conquering adversity. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, Nyghtstorm Nation, our next two guests are known as the dynamic duo of life management. With their real-world experience of 14 years of marriage and raising not one, not two, but 7 children, they specialize on dealing with the ugliness of divorce, domestic violence, child abuse, depression, suicide, and unfortunately, the passing of their son. Now, this powerful couple speak regularly to schools, prisons, businesses, and religious organizations to show that no matter what, you have the strength to change your life despite adversity. So, ladies and gentlemen of Nyghtstorm Nation and listeners around the world, it is my honor, privilege, and pleasure to welcome to Nyghtstorm Radio.
Who?
Us. YG and Toby Nyghtstorm.
Well, I tell you, you can't write an introduction. I don't know who can.
I mean, if I'm going to serve up the rest of our guests, I might as well serve us up good too, baby.
No.
All right, now, normally we like to talk to other folks, but Nyghtstorm Nation members have been writing in and said, YG and Toby, we want to hear more from y'all, man. Y'all got all these great people coming on, but when you gonna tell us the gist and the juice about the Nyghtstorms?
Oh, my goodness, the juice.
One of the Nyghtstorm Nation members said that, so they wanted a history lesson of us, the Nyghtstorms, and they sent in some questions.
Okay.
So, all right, so Nyghtstorm Nation member number 1.
Oh, we love our transparency here on Nyghtstorm Radio.
They just want to know all
let's
our
stretch.
business.
Let's
All
get
right,
it
so
out.
Nyghtstorm Nation member number 1 said, "Dear YG and Toby, y'all are crazy. How did y'all meet?" Well, I'm going to take this one.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this, and I know this might tick off some people in the Nyghtstorm Nation, but if you've been listening to Nyghtstorm Radio for as long as we've been on the air, you know how it went down. Mm-hmm. Toby and I are a one-night stand that never ended.
Nah, I met him at his house. How convenient.
Yeah.
He had to go nowhere.
Yeah, and at the time, check this out, I had 30 girlfriends at the time because I was going through.
Friends with benefits.
Friends with benefits. Okay, 30 chicks that I was messing with at the time, and I had just came out of a very, very bad divorce from my first wife. So I was out there, y'all. I was unhappy. I was insecure. I was hurt. All the things that come from a divorce. I was broken. So I was looking for somebody to love me. It's just I had 30 of them, but I wasn't happy until the queen graced through and just changed all that.
Because they were loving on him.
I wouldn't use them words, and we are a family show, but I'll say this. Fellas, you know when you met the right one, when you are surrounded with beauties, but this diamond sparkles brighter and makes all of them look dull.
Aww.
Ooh!
Aww. Say it for all the
to-
ladies out there, Nightstar Nation. Aww.
Yeah, I had to get out of that one. But that's how we met. Go ahead.
Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
That was very good. I like how you summed that up. That was very
I'm smart.
good.
I love my
60
queen.
seconds.
14 years. I
You know?
want 50 more.
50.
50
See, you
more.
said 15.
I want 50 more. 50.
Okay. Let's
Freudian
get this straight.
slip.
All right. Now, the next question is, what major event galvanized your relationship?
Yeah, what galvanized us, baby?
Well, first of all, YG,
Yeah.
define galvanize. No, I know what galvanized means. I was just messing with you.
Strengthen.
I was
tighten,
just messing with you.
Bring it together passionately.
We have had, I can't put my finger on one. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? From bringing this blended family together,
Right.
seeing your strength in organizing 7 individual spirits, and there's 7 different personalities, along with yours truly.
Yeah. That was a challenge. The 7 children was a challenge, but you, baby, you were a blissful
Oh my
challenge.
goodness! He used plenty of butter.
I'm
Can you
spreading
hear
on
it,
thick.
Nyghtstorm Nation? He used plenty of butter. But I can say there was not one major event. There have been several events that galvanized our relationship. From having to lean on each other through the good times, the bad times, like any marriage, the tragedies, the misfortunes, and the things that have caused us to prosper and work together. We get a lot of questions. I think our main question here is, how can you work with your spouse?
Yeah, we get that a lot.
We get that all the time.
It's called a lot of prayer, ladies and gentlemen.
On my part, yeah.
A lot of prayer saying, thank you, Lord, I love my wife.
And I love my husband. But no, it's just knowing that you have a common goal.
Yeah.
And you have a picture, you have a place where you want to end up at. And and knowing that it's bigger than you. It's bigger than what is going on with your ego. There has definitely have to be a mutual respect there. And recognizing each other's strength. You're already going to know each other's weaknesses off the top. Yeah. But recognizing that I need him because he does this, and that. He's the provider. He is the common sense, whereas I'm the emotion, and I'll run off and go, let's do this. And he is no, baby, let's sit down and think about this. Now, what's going to be the outcome if we do this here? And it's bigger than us here. And we got people that need to know how to handle certain things. So it's definitely the yin and the yang. So as far as what galvanized relationship, the relationship is galvanizing the relationship. Yes. Because each day, even in the little things, if we go to a restaurant and he holds a door for an elderly couple, I love that. That's cool to me.
More mature citizen.
Yes. And the fact that if something's happening with the children, he can sit them down and say, hey, let's think through this. Why are you here and what should you have done? Just seeing that strength as a man. And the respect that he commands because he gives respect is what galvanizes the relationship. It's like, hey, I'm going to sit here with him for a while. I like the way he do his thing.
That was a superb answer. And Jerry is shaking his head, just smiling, because I'm sure he go through the same thing in his relationships too. Okay, with his girlfriend, he is a wonderful girlfriend.
Yes,
and so, and I want to piggyback on this because you've been spreading it on thick too. But
I'm just telling the truth.
Okay, but I want to say
it ain't game if you're speaking the truth.
Well, that's true. That is definitely true.
I think I heard that from somebody once.
I know. I don't know who you heard that from. But I also want to say this, and fellas, because just like, the Queen was saying, it's about mutual respect. It's just that. It's mutual respect. Yeah, I'm the king.
Yes,
I'm
he
the
is.
man.
Yes, he is. He run that household.
I run the household. I'm boss or whatever. But you know something? It'd be terrible for a business if you a boss sitting alone and you have nobody to work with you and get the projects done. It'd be terrible. So when you are ruling your household, you must rule with wisdom. You must rule with patience, and you must rule with love and understanding. And say, look, this is my queen. These are my princes. These are my princesses. I want to treat them like I would want to be treated. And what would make me cooperate more is mutual respect. And if you love this woman and she has changed your life like Toby has changed mine, that's why it's easier for me to work with her, because I actually want her around. I actually want her around most of the time. Most of the time. All right, before I get in trouble, we finna go to a break.
Okay.
We finna go to a real break.
Okay, because we was finna get real right there.
That's why I cut you off.
Like, it cut me off.
I want you around most of the time, which is 99.99% of the time. And I ain't gonna get in trouble, but you want to take us to the break, baby?
Yeah. Because, honey, lies you tell. We will be right back with the Nyghtstorms on Nyghtstorm Radio on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station.
To all event planners, are you worried that your next corporate get-together is going to be boring?
Then invite the Nyghtstorms to speak at your next event and electrify your organization as we break down how to grow your business, fix broken relationships, and conquer life challenges.
So make your next event epic. Invite me and the Queen to rock the house with inspirational techniques designed to empower individuals and maximize their true potential.
And thanks for listening to Nyghtstorm Radio on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational station.
We are you.
This is Toby George Nyghtstorm, a.k.a. Lady Nyghtstorm, and I'm known as the woman not afraid to tell the truth about how things really are. And the truth I have to say to you is you should listen to Nyghtstorm Radio every Thursday from 11 to noon. And you should also like us on Facebook at Nyghtstorm Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Nyghtstorm Radio. And join the Nyghtstorm Nation mailing list on Nyghtstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com. Nyghtstorm Radio on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. We are you.
This is YG Nyghtstorm. And why should you listen to Nyghtstorm Radio? Because we relate to you or someone you know with topics taken directly from our lives. Every time you tune in, you'll hear a discussion about real subjects that affect real life. Why? Because me and the Queen have been there. So join us right here every Thursday morning from 11 to noon on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. Nyghtstorm Radio. We are you.
Hello, Nyghtstorm. It's Toby George Nyghtstorm, a.k.a. Lady Nyghtstorm, and I have a question for you. How much are you spending each day on lunch? $6, $7, $10 even? Do you know that for less than what you spend each week on lunch, you can advertise your business or service right here doing the show on Nyghtstorm Radio? Why don't you inbox us on Facebook, send us a message on Twitter, or drop us a line at Nyghtstorm.com. Let us show you how you can get your business or service out in front of the people. Now back to the show.
We are back, and we are talking to the dynamic duo of life management, specializing in relationship challenges, life crisis events, and stress management. Who are they? The Nyghtstorms. Yeah. Okay. Now we got another letter. Another question.
Yes, we do. And this is so interesting to me because we sit and we butter each other up good, both sides, up and down. Make sure we know how much we appreciate each other. However, we have been divorced.
Oh, somebody
And
went
someone brought that up.
Somebody went there. It got to be somebody we know.
The question goes, well, basically it's saying you guys talk about being married and that you got divorced and that you got remarried again. How did things go wrong and what did you do to fix it? You know, that's a very good question, though.
Man, why y'all want to bring up the past? Man, I'm telling you, man, we done gone through this over and over, Nyghtstorm Nation.
We are you.
Uh-huh.
And just like Nene Leakes,
oh, Lord,
we could get divorced and get remarried.
You brought Nene up.
Hey,
Nene.
Hey, Nene.
What's up,
yes,
girl?
Yes, girl.
All right, go on and answer this question, man.
But you know, we have to answer this question together. First of all, yes, we got divorced. We were dating for years.
I messed up.
We messed up.
I messed up.
Because we were married and divorced within a 6-month period. When I tell you, by the time that 6-month anniversary came, we were in separate households.
I messed up so bad, y'all.
We You see how he tries to put it all on his shoulders? See, that's another thing.
I messed up, man.
However,
I was wrong.
So it took us 4 years
to get it together.
To, work out our own issues.
For me to get myself right.
For us to get ourselves right, because
I was in a bad place, y'all.
We were both in a bad place. Do you hear this voice over this talking thing?
It was ugly.
But no. In a relationship, there's give and take. In a relationship,
I was taking everything.
No, it's not. Oh my gosh! Would you hush?
Okay.
Thank you.
That was you told me a whole lot in 6 months. Shut up. I know.
We both had to grow up. We both had to mature. We both had to own 100% of our part.
My part.
Our part in what we did in the relationship to make it fail. Even if at times on a particular topic I was only 5% wrong, I have to own 100% of my 5%.
Yes.
And he had to own his other 95.
I know, right? I know.
And on other topics, you can't let your ego. How important is the relationship where you can say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Please forgive me. And communicate. And don't just sit there when a person is doing something to not be on your right side. Let it fester and grow.
Right.
And not bring it to their attention. And you don't have to do it in a way that's going to hurt them. You can do it in a way to say, look here. I don't like
tell them how you talk to me.
This is not going over well with me right now.
And she said it real condescending like that, too. That's why I call her the queen. This is not going the way that I would want it, YG. You need to step up or ship out. Meanwhile, buy me some purses.
I did not. Now, hold on now. Hold on now. You bought the purses on your own.
I know I did.
Okay.
I thought it would break the ice. I know I messed up, baby. Here's some Louis Vuitton.
You're stupid. You are too stupid. But no. How did we fix it? When things go wrong, how do you fix it? First of all, you tell the person exactly where they went wrong, what you don't like, where is your line. I could take this, but I'm not going to take that. There's got to be a mutual respect here.
Mutual respect.
And how important to you am I? Am I important enough for you to change this? Is he important enough? Is she important enough for you to change? We learn stuff every day. You hear a lot of stuff about, well, if a person wants me, they just have to take me the way I am.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Say that one more time. If a person
loves me, they have to take me the way I am. Okay, that goes both ways.
No, you know most people, they're like, no, he's supposed to just take me the way I am, and he's supposed to change for me.
But no, the thing is about it, how much do you love this person? How much do you want them in your life? It's called compromise. And we learn new things every day about ourselves. We are imperfect. Ever since Adam and Eve decided they want to go eat the fruit off the forbidden tree, we became imperfect
Wait a minute,
creatures.
are you saying that you also are imperfect?
Yes, I'm imperfect.
Like for that 5% of the time when you wrong, and then maybe sometime that 5% could actually be 5.5%.
It could be 95%.
What?
It could be 95%.
You could be 95%?
Yes, I can be 95% wrong.
Oh, my God.
And then I have to step back and go, I messed up on that one. I am so sorry.
And I only hear that 5% of the time because I don't get wrong. Let me piggyback on this, okay? Because you have explained that eloquently, my queen. But yeah, and because this also goes with the next question we got. We got YG. What made you write your book? All action, no talk. Okay.
First of all, we wrote the book.
Okay, and I was about to correct that. Yes, we wrote the book. Me and the Queen wrote the book. But this is why the book was written. Because during that divorce period, okay, you want to talk about somebody who felt like I lost everything. Okay, because I've already told you guys earlier in my previous in the early part of my life, I went through abuse. I was abused very, very heavily in the household. Dad abandoned me. I was raped by a camp counselor when I was 11 years old. So my childhood was not great. And I just wanted somebody to love me. And a lot of men and women out there have gone through such traumatic events through their childhood where they just, when they become adults, they feel like when they were a kid, they lost their power. And now as an adult, I have the power to make sure nobody hurts me again. So even if they hurt me in the slightest bit, I'm finna go all in because I got the power now. And I just simply want somebody to love me the way that I want to be loved. Okay, but when you're going through stuff like that, after you've gone through traumatic issues like that, you do become a wee bit selfish-minded. You want what you want because it's what you need. But you also forget how to give it back. Exactly. And that's where the mutual respect comes from. And I didn't have it. And when we got divorced, I lost everything. Okay? I was sitting alone in a rat and roach infested motel room with very little money, with nothing on my mind but Toby and our 7 children. Okay? And everyone had lost the utmost respect for me because I let everybody down because of my own selfishness, my own ego, the ways that I just wanted to do things because I had been hurt, and I brought all of that ugliness and that unforgiveness from all of that ugly stuff from my past into our marriage, and it hurt the marriage severely. That's not saying you weren't at fault with some things, because you were.
Yeah, because
but I had to get myself together, and when the realization came that I've lost what I say I love the most, and if I say I love this woman, and I say I marry her, and I would die for this woman, then I would live for this woman. And I would do everything I need to do within my power to make sure I'm a better man today than I was yesterday. I'm a better father today than I was yesterday. I'm a better husband today than I was yesterday. And when you look at it in those aspects, you constantly want to be a better person and completely shut out all that old garbage that was the result of your downfall. And when you got 2 people aspiring to be that way, I want to be a better wife to you today than I was yesterday. I want to be a better husband to you than I was yesterday. The relationship has absolutely no choice but to bow down and submit to the 2 people that have empowered it.
Exactly. You did that so eloquently.
But
the thing that I wanted, and you said exactly what I was about to hit on, was reciprocity. That is the key word here. Not only communication, but reciprocity, and owning and taking responsibility for your part in a relationship, because there's always something that's going to happen, and you have to be a united front. Now, one of the things I want to hit on is another quick question is, what is the key to finding and keeping the right man? Okay.
What's the key, baby?
Well, first of all, recognize red flags. Don't, a lot of times you have to see past the car he's driving. You have to see past the suit he's wearing. You have to see past the house he's living in, and look at that man. Look at that woman. Same thing, because it goes both ways.
Yeah,
it's not just men. You got to see past the big button to smile.
Yes.
And see what type of person you're dealing with here.
Yes.
And don't ignore those red flags. And know what you can deal with and what you can't deal with when you're, entering into a relationship with the person. I think the biggest thing that I had to learn is to validate my man. I would be like, don't you know you're good? Well, I got to tell you. Everybody else is telling you what you need me to tell you for. Yeah, I ain't going to pump up your ego, but they need to hear that from their woman.
Because somebody else will.
Yeah, and have that support system. And it was awkward at first because I wasn't raised like that. I was raised by my mother and my grandmother. Wasn't no man around to validate. And whatever. That's what you're supposed to do as a man. That's your job. But a man loves to say, hey, babe, you did great on that. They want that pat on the back.
Yes,
it's no different than from raising your sons. If your sons go out and they do great on getting this report card or winning this team game or having the home run, you're going to go, yay, great job. I'm proud of you. Your man ain't nothing but an older.
Say it right. Say it right.
Version of the man that you're raising. Because that man that you're giving support to is going to be someone's husband, someone's dad. And we condition them for that love and that support. So we have to continue that. They mama gave them to us. When you get married, you leave your mother and father and you become one with that person. They're used to this support system coming out of that household. And so they need this in the home from you, because there's a difference from being there for your man and making sure your man is happy. That's two different things. So,
preach
there you
it,
go.
ladies. Toby George, Nyghtstorm on deck. And please don't take advice from a chick who don't have no man, because you'll be single just like her. I'm sorry. And brothers, don't take advice from your homeboys who are players, because you'll be single and by yourself, miserable just like them. I don't care how they try to cover it up. Now, anyway, we finna move it on because, one more quick question. It says, Toby and YG, why did you go out and speak to people about hurtful things that they may be too ashamed to talk about?
You go ahead with that one.
Because we need to talk about it. Period. I'm 6'1", 300 pounds. I'm in the gym all the time, 25 years of martial arts. And guess what? I got raped as a kid. It is what it is. And me keeping that kind of trauma inside did nothing but enrage me, infuriate me, gave me a complex to not trust anyone, and I aggressively fought everybody that I thought was a threat to me. And those kind of things helped me become divorced. These type of behaviors do not work in a relationship. These type of behaviors do not work in our society. These type of behaviors do not work when you're trying to raise children yourself.
Exactly, because you pour it into the children, and the children end up going out in the world with your baggage, along with their own baggage that they're going to get, just because life is life and stuff happens. So
that's why we talk about it. It's time to get it out and let it go before it kills you.
And that's why we chose the title, All Action, No Talk.
Yep.
You have the strength to change your life despite adversity, despite everything that's going on with you. That's why that title was chosen. And hey, Nyghtstorm.com, NYGHTSTORM. But my king, we have come to the part of the show that is our love shout out.
Roll that music, Jared. Lots of love.
All right. First up, we have love coming to us right here in the ATL from Travis, who says, "What's up, Nyghtstorm and Nyghtstorm Nation?" And he wants to send love to his girlfriend, Tamika. And he wants to say he loves her very much and wants to thank her for holding it down.
Yeah, and Veronica is shouting out her big brother, Vincent, who celebrated his 10th wedding anniversary to his wife, Michelle, this past weekend. Veronica says, congrats, guys.
All right, we're running low on time, so I want to say, YG, I love you, babe.
Hey.
I love you for everything that you are, have been, and the man that you're aspiring to be.
That just feels so good, babe. And I love you too. You are the greatest thing to ever happen to me. And I thank God for you being a mother to all of our 7 children. Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, thank you. Dr. Renee Sunday, thank you so much for being on Nyghtstorm Radio. Nyghtstorm Nation, thank you so much for supporting us and listening to the show every Thursday at 11 a.m. We still have these tickets to the Renaissance Festival, people. Don't miss out. And also, we have a giveaway. Tune in, get to Twitter, get to Facebook. The Ultimate Women's Lifestyle event is coming to Atlanta, the Atlanta Convention Center on Saturday, June 7th and Sunday, June 8th. And we have VIP passes. You want to go? Let us know.
Come on, ladies. All right. We have come to the end of this show. And for all of the mothers that are out there, happy Mother's Day. Because every woman is not a mother like every man ain't a father. But to those mothers who have honestly sacrificed and loved their children,
even children that's not yours that you pushed out,
even children that ain't yours, thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. God bless you. Enjoy your day coming up. Ma'am, you deserve it.
All right. Have a great week. Stay safe and join us next Thursday at 11 a.m. on your radio, your computer, and your smartphone right here on Love 860 AM, Atlanta's Inspiration Talk Station, because we are you.